well. Any kids in our audience, I've got a kid story for you. And I'd love you to come down the front as we share this story. And I need some help from the adults as well. So all the adults should check that they all have 2 ears that they're able to use to listen, because our ears are important to this story. Now, boys and girls, what is something that all of us as people these days tend to spend too much time looking at? Phones. I knew I was going to get that answer. Does any of the adults here spend too much time looking at their phones? Yeah, I do. Siri reminds me once a week that I spent too much time staring at my screen. And then I get it on my computer and my iPad as well. And some days it's for work, other times it's just mindless scrolling. You see, there's things in our world that stop us from hearing what's going on in God's message and from receiving the good gifts that he wants to bestow upon each of us. All right. Now, do you all have ears here? Yeah? Have you got ears? Have you got ears? All right, can we check that our ears are working? Because this story is important, because this story needs us to have ears that will listen. All right. One day, when Jesus was teaching by the sea, crowds came to see him. It was seaside story time. Jesus pushed the boat out into the sea and he started to preach. And listen, said Jesus. A sower sows seeds. Some seeds, they stop on the street. And what happens to the seeds that are stop on the street? They are eaten by birds, and sneaky starlings snap up the seeds. Looks like having a good meal there. Some seeds hit the stone. What do you think happens to seeds that hit the stone? They shoot up. The sun scorches them and they die. Some seeds slip beside spirally, spiky weeds. The spiky weeds spiral around the plants, and what happens to the plants? They get strangled and they die. Some seeds sink into the soil. The seeds grow seedlings and what? Stalks and seed heads and 1660, a century of seeds. Now, what do you call the heads of these seeds? They're an ear of seeds, because if you have ears, you need to listen to this story. The crowds went home, leaving Jesus alone with his friends. Do you want to sit on my lap? No? Okay. Jesus' friends said, your seaside stories are sensational, but we don't understand them. Have adults ever said stories from the front that just sound confusing and you don't really understand what's going on? Yeah? Well, Jesus' disciples tried to act like they knew what was going on, like our mums and dads and grandparents do as well, and they simply didn't understand what was happening. See, said Jesus, I share seaside stories to some who stare into my stories will not see. And some who hear my stories will not understand. Listen. And then Jesus explains his story. He says, the sower sows good news seeds, but the good news seeds that stop on the street are snapped up by the accuser. You don't deserve seeds, snaps the accuser. What good thing could grow out of you? Snaps our accuser. Snap, snap, snap. The seed striking the stone are those who receive the seed with excitement, but they have no roots. When the good news seed spells struggle and strife, they slump and stagger and sigh, so long, sad seedlings. Here we go. The seeds that slip beside the sparky weed, and those who hear the good news, but the world's worries and making money, longings and likings, they strangle the seedlings, and there's no new seed. Sometimes when our mums and dads and us pick up our phones, does any of the mums and dads feel anxiety when they hear a ding on their phone? It's another email, it's more work, it's another bad notification. There's things that make us worry in this world, and there's no new seeds. But seeds that sink into the sensuous soil are those that hear the good news and accept the seeds. You see, good things grow from people that listen to Jesus. 16, 60, a century of seeds. Do you have ears, boys and girls? Well, then we need to listen. Not just listen to what I'm saying, but listen to what Jesus is saying. Now, what to do with this story? You might like to go outside in your backyard and dig up your backyard and plant a veggie garden. I think that's a good idea. You might put a seed in a pot or put 3,000 hectares of wheat out in the back of New South Wales, right? But sowing seeds is the best way to enter into seed sowing stories. What do I mean by that? I mean, when we learn to stop and take some time to listen to what God is doing in our life, we just want to share Him with those around us. Stop stressing. Put our phone down. Remind our parents to put our phones down. And listen to God's voice. May go back to your seats, boys and girls. Thank you for listening so very well. Come on, back to our seats.